Welcome back to the Milwaukee Show, you fabulous people out there, and I'm so happy you've decided to tune in as this is the first episode of the brand new series, the running series, that will last forever, which is going to be the power rankings of players. As we always do every single year, we always look at the teams, the NHL, a lot of people, they'll do a power rankings of the teams. Well, I'm going to have a continuing running list of the top I would like it to get to like top 25 players eventually, but we're going to start out with the top 10 NHL players, and we're going to keep them in a power ranking list that is going to go on forever. In every single, let's say, week or every single case where we think we need to bring someone up the list, we are going to do that. There'll be an updated list every week we'll start with, but we need to have a list to start with, and I thought there was no other better way to start a power rankings than starting in the number one spot, because we already know where these certain players are going to end up, and Connor McDavid, without a doubt, we have a pretty high standard of. So Connor McDavid, the 26-year-old number 97, drafted first overall in 2015 by the Edmonton Oilers. We already know he's Connor McJesus. He's a freaking god of hockey. He's a feat of strength. We didn't know that there could be a guy this good at hockey. Do you think Connor Bedard could be better than him? Another Connor that give him a run for his money? I don't know. But right now, all I know is currently in the NHL, I don't know if anyone tops Connor McFreaking-David. He makes the most money this year. Starting next year, Nathan MacKinnon will pass him, unfortunately, and that's a stupid decision by the Avalanches. He's not the best player in the world to get paid that money, but that's neither here or there because that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about McDavid and how great he is. So, right now, already in his short career, he's already only played 8 seasons. He's won 4 Art Ross, 3 Ted Lindsay, and 2 Hart trophies. All those basically saying that he is the best player of those seasons he played. And, producing points and just being the league MVP. He's already done it, and all those numbers are about to get increased by 1, including adding a Maurice Richard trophy, whatever you want to call it. I just call it the Richard this year. He's going to add one of those to his belt, as he is no way going to get past in the goal scoring category by the end of the season. He's right now at 54 goals. He's first in the NHL. Behind him is Pastrnak, who we just played against this 2 nights ago, I think now. And he leads him by 9 goals. So he's 9 goals ahead of him, and there's only maybe 15 games left of the season for most of the teams. And so 9 goals ahead of him, and he seems to score just almost every other night 2 goals every other night by the looks of it. So goals-wise, not going to get past there. So Richard, most likely going to him. I have no doubt about it. I'd bet all the money I've ever seen on that. Assist, first in assist by only 2. Nikita Kucherov is 2 behind him at this point, and he's gaining. McDavid hasn't really been pulling away from him, so I'm going to say he might lose that category, but what he won't be losing is definitely the points, where he leads by not 2, not 3, not 10, not 15, not 20, not 25. He leads by 27 points ahead of second place. He has his best career ever, and there's still 15 games left with 124 points. He might have the highest season points ever in a season since 2000. Joe Thornton had 125 or 6, and Nikita Kucherov, the big year when the Lightning were huge and they had tied the best record ever in a season. Nikita Kucherov 128 points that year, so he's only 4 points behind that, so most likely going to pass that as well, and he's going to set a new standard for what it means to be the best. So, points, he's definitely going to win that. Another Art Ross going to go his way, and Ted Lindsay and Hart definitely going to him again, and the Rocket Richard, so he's just adding more to his belt. Now, the one thing I guess 2 things he hasn't won yet that he definitely would win if he got to climb the mountain all the way, is in the playoffs. Now, in the playoffs, it is unfortunate with the Edmonton Oilers that he's been stuck on a team that for the most part of the 8 years that he's been there, he hasn't really had a good team around him at all. Sure, Draisaitl's great, Nugent Hopkins is great. There's a couple of standouts every single year. Some years, Darnell Nurse could be great, and he's okay this year, and he's not the best defenseman ever. Goaltending definitely has never been a standout there in Edmonton. So overall, the playoffs are definitely a team effort, And McDavid, he tries his best, though, to will his team to victory. Over his playoff career, he's played 33 games, 55 points, 21 goals, 34 assists. So he's more than point a game in the playoffs. But most of those points, 33 of them coming from last year. Finally, the Oilers actually put together a competent overall team. And even so, he led that freaking team all the way almost to the end. He got all the way to the conference finals where he was finally beaten by the then going on champions, the Colorado Avalanche, of course. But he got them there. 33 points in 16 games. That is incredible. He is 2 points per game. Plus, actually, because 32 would be that. So it was more than 2 points per game in the playoffs. And not only that, he was a plus 15. So when he was on the ice, they were barely ever getting scored against out there. So huge for him. 21 assists, of course, assisting, I think, on all of Evander Kane's goals. I think that one game when he scored like 4 goals or something like that. McDavid just sets up his team 10 goals and 21 assists 23 assists, in that playoff run last year. This year, they're looking like they're probably going to end up there again, but I'm not entirely sure. I think they'll make it. I don't think the Flames will edge them out in any way, so they're probably making it in. And this year, I think the team as a whole has actually been knocked down a notch, but him as a player has only gone up better from last year, and last year he was already freaking incredible. So what can he do this year now that he's already that amazing, and he's just going better into this season? So McDavid, if he gets there, he will win a Stanley Cup one day. One day, maybe at the end of this current contract that he's on, maybe he goes to, who knows, like the Rangers or who cares, whoever, and it doesn't matter who, and just a better team and sign. Who knows? Maybe he just signs like a 1-year deal just so he can win a Stanley Cup and set like the best record ever season, and he signs in like Tampa Bay, and he scores like 90 goals or something like that. I mean, this won't ever happen. But if he wanted to, and then go on and win the Stanley Cup, right? He would definitely win the Conn Smythe Trophy no matter what. It might be one of those situations that even if he was like second in points, he would win it that 100%. There's no way. Kind of like that year when Tampa Bay, when Kucherov, I think, won it. But Braden Point was actually like the number 1 points guy in like the entire on the team. Anyways, but yeah, so McDavid, if you ever got to climb that mountain, he would definitely be, he's going to win those two things one day. And another little category that I think people don't realize just how amazing, and I mean, everyone knows he's already incredible, but just how good he is that he ranks 4th all time ever. That is the entire history of the NHL, and I know he's got a lot more games that can suppress this number, but at this point in his career, and he only seems to be getting better, as most players do, and he's just getting into his prime. He's only 26 years old. I think most players are in their definite prime between 26 and like 30, and he's in his prime right now, in it, and he's only getting better, and he's already 4th all time with a 1.49 points per game average. 4th all time. That beats Crosby, Ovechkin. I mean, guys like Mario, I actually don't know who's actually in front of him, I'll be honest. I'm sure Gretzky's one of them. I don't know who else it is, so I'm not going to name any other people that I know might be in front of him, but look like an idiot. But he's 4th all time. He beats out all those other players, the thousands that have already played in the NHL. He beats them out, and he's only in his 8th season. He's only getting better, too. So, McDavid, superstar, right? But we already knew that. So he's kicking off these rankings. It's an obvious placement, especially since he's technically has no competition. So at this point right now, there's no way on earth that we don't put Connor McDavid at the number 1 spot of the current running player power rankings, and that is where he's going to go. And then so what I'll be doing is I'm going to be going to different players just to fill out the current top 10 list. And then once we get the top 10 list finished, then we can have cases of like moving a player in, moving a player out. Every week there will be an updated list, and then maybe during the week if something happens, especially during like the middle of the season, probably make things more interesting, especially during the off season. Things probably won't be changing that much because they won't be playing. So that'll be updated throughout the next season, and every week going forward. So that is all I have to say about that. McDavid starts our power rankings list in the first slot, and that is all I have to say. Next time, I guess if you watch this before I do the next one, comment down below who you want me to do next. I mean, now, you can pick anyone you want, I guess. I mean, if you want me to do John Scott, I mean, I guess technically he would go in the second place spot, and then he'd get pushed down the list. So tell me if you have any idea of who you want me to rank next, or if no one does, I'll do whoever I feel like. And until next time, I hope you somehow enjoyed this video and feel encouraged to pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button. If you liked the video, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comment section. Tell me how stupid I absolutely am for thinking McDavid's the first and best player currently in the world. And that is all I have to say. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Too sweet, and ta-ta for now.